Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check. Mic check. Mic check, mic check. Okay, welcome my friends to this week's Dev live stream. We've moved back to Sundays because the NFL season is basically over starting today. And I'm so excited to get into this episode because I just discovered something insane. So you guys may remember that in previous streams I struggled with the web client because we're using like a self-signed certificate, an SSL certificate that's basically signed by the Neat free-to-play server itself, which is like 192.3.118. You know the IP probably if you play here. So basically I've always struggled with that because nothing ever trusts it, so that's why the web client doesn't log in when you first try, and then you have to accept the privacy warning when you go to the page, and then all of a sudden it works. So what I've just realized is that it's like 99% of the time it's because it's an IP. Like the cert is literally issued to 192.3.118.9. Like it's just something that a lot of like clients and software think is shady. So what I've done is something I didn't know I could do this whole time, which is create a new domain called game.needfreetoplay.com. And it works. The only thing is the SSL cert is still pointing to the existing server IP, not game.needfreetoplay.com. So I think I can fix the web client issue and maybe get RSCC working as the web client, like upgrade the web client so it's using the RSCC, which is like, I don't know, it's like an RSC client built in C instead of Java. So I can do both of those if I just fix the certificate. So that's what we're going to start with today. Sorry, long-winded explanation, but we're going to get going on this. So to fix this, I'm going to actually follow along with what AI is telling me to do. So hold on. So let's just look at the instructions here. So download WinAcme. Let's go with that first. So WinAcme is like a Let's Encrypt tool that you can use with Windows to create a SSL cert for a specific hostname, which we now have. So let's just go ahead and download it. Okay, extract it to a folder. And I assume there's just going to be an exe or something. Let's see. What is it saying next? Not pluggable, not source. Somewhere permanent. Okay. Gotcha. Oh, not pluggable, not source. Okay, let's go to downloads. This one's trimmed. Huh. Okay. Yeah, AI is saying don't do pluggable or source. Not pluggable, not source. Version 2 something .zip. Okay. Let's try this second one that we just did. So if I go to downloads, here's it. Trimmed. Okay, this should be good. So we're going to cut this folder now and put it into the C drive. So we're just going to paste it here and then rename it to win-acme, like AI is telling me to. Run with WinAcme as administrator. Right click that, run as administrator, okay. Try to close that. Alright, let's run this as administrator. Okay, cool. So, create new certificate, simple for IIS, then single binding of an IIS site. Okay. I should probably have this open on a different monitor. Like that. Okay, so we're gonna say N, I guess, because I don't see the IIS option. No websites with post bindings that have been configured in IIS. Source plugin IIS was unable to generate options. Okay, let's go back to IIS then. See what's going on. Yeah, this one does have a binding for HTTPS 443. I guess we should probably try to change this on freeway.com. I don't know. And then for this, I think we'll do not selected, because we don't want the existing one. Oh, okay, looks like I have to do one. Huh, okay. Close. Please select the websites which should be scanned for host names. Yeah. Listed above are the bindings found on the selected sites. Yep. Yeah, there's only one binding, so we can pick all. And then continue with the selection, yes. Let's see. Source generated using plugin IIS game.needfreetoplay.com. That's good. Terms of service, open default application, sure. Okay, I don't need to read this, I'm sure. Do you read the terms? Yes. Just play the basic Need Free Play Gmail. Okay, plugin IIS generated source with one identifiers. Authorization result valid, that's good. It says it's using HTTP 01 validations, that's good. Temporarily answer. Wow, it's doing all this for me. This is awesome so far. Okay, so it says it create a certificate. I don't see anything about RSA versus ECDSA, which is kind of what ChatGPT is telling me to choose, but I don't see it, so I already created or automatically updated the HTTPS bindings. And I think it already did this, and then yeah, it did this, and then so let's check the HTTPS binding now that it's done this. Okay, so now we see a different SSL cert here, and that's good, because that means that this was done by Acme and not by me, so that looks good. Certificate issuer. Issued by R12. Well, that doesn't say let's encrypt. Let's go ahead and check in Server Manager. Where is that? Credential, is that it? Or is it certificate? Maybe this is it. I forget the exact, like, yeah, this is it. Okay, so I want to make sure. Oh, wait, here are the details. Issuer is this, and then public key is RSA 2048. So it says 3072. So we might have to redo this now. Let's see. So the only thing that's weird is that it's saying 3072 bits, but it's saying that it should only be like 2048 or 4000 something. So that could be bad, but it also could just be working now. Let's see. Let's open Postman. So we're gonna see if this works now. So we're gonna change this to game.e3play.com and see if that returns something. Okay, could not connect to game.e3play.com/ws, but does this still work? That doesn't work either. Okay, 404 not found. Are they both 404s? Let's see. Well, no, this one's bad gateway. Let's try :443. Okay, this one's returning a okay. Huh. Okay. I'm just gonna ask ChatGPT if, let's see, Acme the cert with RSA 3072, is that okay? And then see what it says. Oh, you know what? I think there's something I need to do in IIS for this to work. Oh, also, there's like a script. There's like a node script I need to run, right? Let's try this. So I'm remembering some things I was doing yesterday. Also, sorry, my mic wasn't that close. I'm remembering some things that I was doing yesterday. Users administrator / desktop. So we want to run server. Yep, accepting connections on port 3000. So now when I go to Postman, what happens? Yep, here we go. So now we're saying message is open. So yeah, I just didn't have my Node server running. So Node is, let's see, let's open this with text editor or something. Node I'm using just to run a server, so it's really simple. It just says require WS and then start a new WebSocket server on port 3000, console logging that's accepting connections, and then when someone actually connects, it says, okay, I'm going to return hello world WebSocket connection is open, and that's what we're seeing in Postman. So this is working now, so I'm thinking I just need to check if I can actually connect now. But I'm also wondering, does this work now? No. Okay. Huh. Because this would be the better thing to work. Let me see. Let me scroll all the way up here because ChatGPT told me how to fix the 4.3 port like a ways back. Here we go. Oh, it's 43494. Hold on. I think this was the original issue. So if we look at this picture. Okay, yeah. It used to be 43494, I think. So, yeah. So what we need to do is scroll back up. So let's try that. Let's try 43494. Connect. X. Socket connection error. Please try again. Okay. WSS : / host : 43494. Alright, let's check what it said then. Oh, that's right. It told me to try to change it. So I can change the RSCC client to use /WS instead of : 43494, but it's like, I have to like change code that's regenerated every time you run the make file, so it's kind of like sus, but yeah, this is the solution that we were coming to. So let's try this. Yeah, okay, so let's go into IIS. This may not work, I'm not sure. Let's see. What's up, Christoph? Thanks for joining. Type HTTPS. You know what? Once I add this binding, though, it stops the /WS solution from working. So let's just try that first. I'm going to have to go get my Mac, so I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. And I just need to set up. Wow, that was loud. I just need to set up the Mac so that it can try to connect to game.needfreeplay.com instead of the IP. Okay. So gonna write game.needfreeplay.com/ws. So what I'm doing, just so you guys can kind of see it, it's not gonna look great, but what I'm doing is I'm just telling, I don't even know if you guys can see this, I'm telling like the mud client to just, you guys probably can't see this, I'm just telling it to like go directly to a specific string instead of like trying to build the IP locally, because there's no option to use /WS if you do it the normal way. Yeah, this does work. So let's try that. We're just gonna try to start the Python server. Let's see if that works. Localhost. Huh. Now we're getting unable to log in, unrecognized response code. Interesting. Which usually, it happens sometimes when you're the first person to join the server, but I'm trying it multiple times, and it's still not working, so that's definitely interesting. Okay, error, failed to RSA crypt. So that's still a problem. Login response 34. What's login response 34? Oh, okay, so still seeing issues. Huh. Now I'm thinking we should do the 43494 thing just to see if that fixes it. So yeah, let me get this up here. Alright, so HTTPS 43494. Because we might have been like accessing the game on an invalid port or something. Game.freeplay.com. And we're going to use the same cert, which it tells me to do. Hostname leave blank. I don't think that's correct anymore, because now we have a hostname. Alright, so, the client connects to slash. Okay. Okay, so double click URL rewrite, add a new rule. I think we already have this actually. Yeah, so I just have this disabled for now. But if I enable it and then edit it, I think this is already good. Let's test this now. Which I think we already have that there. This doesn't look good so far because it took a long time last time and it failed. Connect to that. Okay. Well, oh, hold on, it's not running. Dull. Being used by another process. Interesting. What? Let's try closing this out. We don't need this open. I don't think we need this open. Quit. Wow, it's being used by another process. What the heck? Let's just do IS reset. Interesting. What could be using web client? So I think something else is using port 43494, and we need to figure that out. So let's see. That's not the one I wanted to use. 43494. Huh. Interesting. Okay, so PID would be 2192. So let's take a look. Java.x. Oh, I get it. I think the game server is using that port. Which actually it doesn't make any sense, because it... Should it? Actually, I don't know. I guess technically, because people could be like using the web client to connect. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do this stuff later tonight because there's just like a lot of... It's like a peak time for the server and I don't want to take everything down. So, I'm just gonna write some notes for later and we're gonna come back to this. I feel like we're so close to this web client stuff, it's just like we just can't get there. We're gonna get there eventually, let's see. So we now have a Let's Encrypt cert for game.newspaper.com. I don't know, I guess, let's see, what was the error? Unrecognized. Yeah, okay. Okay, just grabbing this value from a different PC now. Oh boy. Okay, better just take a picture. Come on, grab that picture. Thank you. Just copy it. I'm wondering if instead of adding the binding to the website, should we have just like removed the /ws thing and then should we have, let me try something. Let's try removing this. I'm thinking like maybe we don't need this here because we have it on the game server or something. I don't know. See, now we should be able to start this. And now I'm thinking we want to disable this. Because this is what makes like the WS thing work, I think. So let's try going back, running this, and then see what happens in Postman. Okay, we're still seeing could not connect. Socket connection error. Okay, so what if the port just works because the game server is running? So like, what if we don't want this to be running, but the game server takes care of like the node WebSocket server somehow? So let's stop that and then run it. Okay, still the same issue. So yeah, I think the thing is I won't be able to like test this or get it working until I can actually like stop the game client server, the game server, and then, you know, muck around with stuff. So, all right. So, yeah. Yikes. I don't know. We working on this. It's tricky. Anyway, we're gonna go to the website stuff. Because there's nothing else I can do with the game if I can't do that. So let's remove this. Just out of curiosity, what does this say? Okay, it does show. Like a I don't know, a favicon. .502 bad gateway. Okay. Please try again in a few minutes. Oh, you know what I just realized? This won't work unless we actually update the game server to use the same cert. We'll need to figure that out. Anyway, I'm blocked. Okay, so what to work on for the website? There's a lot of stuff I want to do. This is kind of a big thing because it's just annoying whenever there's events that like come up. It's just a big thing where like I have to create them manually in the database. So let's take care of that. This is the wrong client. Oh, wow. So I had to do it twice. Nice. Free to play 205. Why does this keep opening? I don't care. Stop. Yikes. Alright, so we need a way to create events on the website because it's just a pain to have to do that via SQL Server or via the SQL editor window, whatever. So yeah, I had an idea to maybe allow it to be created when you're creating the news posts. Go to /events, I think. This is what I'm talking about. Like, creating these in the database, we need a UI for that, so that we can just do that instead of having to do it manually. So, thinking we're gonna create some kind of thing there. Okay, so alright, so I think this is safe to show you guys. Yeah. So this is what I do. I do insert into events. We've got an event title, start date, end date, relative URL. Relative URL is like the URL to the more information, I guess, like more information about the event. Location. Emoji name was like, I think they had to use a column for this as opposed to a database. I had to use a column instead of putting it into the title, I think, because otherwise it didn't work. Recurring, and then recurs every. So yeah, we're just gonna create an option for this. So we're gonna go to, let's see. Okay, we're good here. Alright, go localhost. Still running. Okay. I'm gonna close some stuff on the server for now. And close that out so that we're not staying on there. Wow, this is taking forever to start my local. What is going on here? Expected token question mark equals. What? In the name of... Let's start a new terminal. I don't know. Maybe do an npm install first. Okay, there we go. No idea what happened last time. Alright, so if I log in... Oh boy. Hold on. Interesting. Okay, why is it like this? Let's go to, Oh, wait. Oh, you know what? I forgot. With these, I need to, like, change the protocol or it doesn't see it as a URL. Okay, I'm thinking that should be fixed now. Yep, there we go. Okay, so what I'm getting to here is, yeah, this is an admin account, so actually I can't use this as an example. Let's do nym. So there's this admin tools part of this page, right? I'm thinking we want to add an option here to create or update an event. Okay. so for now, I think we're just gonna add a creation option. I've been using emojis in my code lately because it's kind of fun. What is with this? All right. There we go. Let's use a different icon just because. There you go. Okay. So what does that look like? Cool. Page doesn't exist yet. Let's fix that. This is really what I've been going with. Let's switch back to, let's see. I'm gonna go to this playlist I always do for dev streams. Alright. So let's go to create news post. Outline. Why would I want this outline? Heck do I know. There we go. Alright. New folder. Create event. So we've got this create event page. Okay. Return. Just want to set the page up for now. So now we've got this page and it works. I think we're gonna use a structure that's very similar to the create news post page. So let's see. Let's just copy this for now. Kind of bring it in piece by piece. Okay, might need this. Okay. Here's our render and our API function. So let's cut that out. And then replace. Okay, so now we don't need this. Definitely don't need this. And then we just have get server-side props. Okay, so handle. Use post form. Interesting. Oh, this is a form that's used for news post specifically. Okay, so we need to figure this out then. TBD props. Probably gonna call like create event, and we're gonna pass yeah, user ID, title. Let's see. What else was in that list? Title, start date. I think that's it, but let me look at the table itself. Oh, and then recurring and recurs every. That's it. Okay. So that's it. We'll probably still have this. Okay. Create event. We still want to stop them from accessing this page if they're not an admin. And we'll say create an event. And here's where we need to figure this out. So handle, create event. But how similar do we really want it for a news post form? I think we're going to create a new component that's kind of like this, but mostly not. Let's call it event form. Paste. Okay, so the event would be submitted with this. Probably the styles can be similar, so we might create like a shared form or something. I don't know. Okay, so we have all these set states because I guess we're trying to like... Alright, sorry, these use states because we're trying to like... keep track of these things because as they change... But, okay, so then... This would assume that we want to like update events too, which I guess we do. We should probably just build that out because otherwise we're gonna have to do it later anyway. Alright, so going with the same theme. Title. Subtitle. Okay. Okay, so this is gonna be an integer, so I think we want number. Alright, so we have an event, which we haven't decided. I think we're just gonna call it website event. Because event could be like a conflicting, it's gonna be a conflicting type name with TypeScript, I'm pretty sure. So let's just, for now, let's set up this here, export type, website event. So, website event, we basically know what it has. It's all the stuff in here. So let's grab this. I think it also has an ID. Yeah, it has an ID too, but I don't know if we care about that on the website. We can just create it with that for now. ID number. So this is going to be a string. Number, string, Boolean, and then string. Whoops. There we go. Oh, recurring is actually a bit, so we'll make that a number. Maybe we can make that a Boolean. I'm just gonna leave it as a number for now. Submit form. Okay. I'm actually getting sick of this music. We're gonna do something else. Gotcha, just the thing. News post, submit form. Oh. Wow, this is like the worst name variable ever. Because it's like a parameter, like a prop, and it's called submit form. I thought it was passing like a form to submit or something. It makes no sense. Okay. On submit form would be a good one. So let's look for that. Submit form. Of the event form. So, news post submit props. Huh. So for us, the submit props are going to be just website event, like the event itself, and then this like set submit result thing, which I should have just copied. Something like this. And we've got a submit result type. Interesting. So this we can genericize and kind of turn it into like a global type. Because it's not really specific to news post now. Now it's just specific to, like, this is just an object with an answer and a code saying that your submit worked or it didn't, and then it could be undefined. So We're gonna put this into like global types. I've got some refactoring to do with this code base. Like some of these naming conventions I don't agree with anymore. Alright, what are we gonna name this? Form, submit, results. Okay, so type names actually should be like title case, but file names I don't agree with being title case, so we're gonna keep it like that. Form, submit, results. There we go. Let's go back here. Add the global type. Gotta add these two. Oh shit. No code actions available. Okay, and then we're gonna put event submit props here. On submit form. Go here. Yep, that's actually a thing. It's just saying that we're not using it, I think. So, end date, set end date. It's gonna be a number. It's gonna be event dot end date, or I don't know, 0 would be fine. Okay, so let's see. Relative URL is next. This track is just weird. Okay. Location, set location. All right. What did I change that from? Set body HTML. I don't think we need that because there's no body. All right, we're gonna create a few new ones here. Emoji name. Set emoji name. String. We're gonna make this a boolean, but then I think this will implicitly cast from a number. I hope. Maybe not. Maybe not. Convert. There must be a way to define a bit. Okay. TypeScript, convert bit to boolean. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so we can do Boolean. And then finally, const recurs every. Okay. So I don't think we'll need to preview the events because that was mostly just for news posts because the body can be really large and the body was being converted from Markdown to HTML. That's not going to happen in our case. So this looks good so far. Preview mode is open. Yeah, this won't be a thing. Handle image change. See, now we got to set up all these handlers. Handle title change. Let's put that at the top. Okay, so body change. Actually, just gonna comment some of these out for now. Okay, so there's no image associated with events, so we won't need that. There's no preview. There's no preview. We're gonna change this to on submit form. And we're going to copy from here that list of things. Except we don't need the user ID, that can be obtained by Next.js. And body input, no. The rest looks fine. Okay, so what's the problem here? Type Boolean is not assignable to type number. Oops. Okay. Try changing this to a Boolean. ID is missing. Did we provide a news post ID before? Let's see. No. Interesting. All right, let's just put some code here. Okay, so that's the submit, and then this is just the markdown stuff, so we can remove this. This is image related, we can remove that. This is also markdown related, you can remove that. Okay, so now we get a styled form. We don't need an image area at all, so we actually just remove this completely. Alright. Move some things around. Let's see. Alright, let's start with something like super simple, like start date label equals start date. Do the same thing for end date. For now, we're gonna just have the user, which I guess is me, enter a epoch, but I think eventually we're gonna iterate on this and then update it to be like a date selector or something like that. So end date. Relative URL. Okay, value, this is wrong. But this won't be required. And the next one will be location. Location is also not required. And then emoji name. Also not required. And then recurring. Oh, well, this, I'm not sure this would be a field. This would be like a checkbox or something. Alright, what are the different variants here? Oh, text field. Okay. I probably shouldn't have named this field because it's so vague. I think we're using MUI. We can just do checkbox from MUI. I don't remember how to do that, so let's go look it up. Yeah, let's do something like this. Okay, I think we just want this variant right here. But it's not checked by default. Like that. And then when this changes... Wait, this would be the form control label. Hold on. On change, handle, recurring, change. just need one more for... I think this is going to be a drop down. Yeah, something just like this. Input label is going to be... let's see. So we're going to add the import for select, and yeah, make sure this label matches. I don't know if this has to match. Let's just try this. Recurs every... Okay, so value is gonna be... recurs every... Label is gonna be recurs every... I don't know why we need that when we already have a label here. Unchange... Yeah. So the menu items we're gonna have for this are gonna be... I don't know, I think we're gonna allow a certain amount of options, so let me think about this. So if we look at the database data, we've got Saturday, first Sunday of the month. I think the options that we want to enable are like a day name, so one of those 7, like Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, and then like the first something of the month, the second Wednesday of the month, that kind of thing. And I think this is read by the front end already somehow. Oh wait, actually hold on. I'm stupid. This actually doesn't need to be like read in a certain way. It's just shown on the site. So if we go to the events page, I think it's just displayed to the user like that. So everything, actually we're just gonna make this a plain text field. We're making this more complex than it needs to be. Wow, I like to put J's in my words a lot. Okay. So, what's just a placeholder we can give it? Placeholder equals, I'll just put example. There we go. Just wanted to add that little bit in there. And then I think we'll do the same thing here. Is there a placeholder for this? Wait, placeholder would make no sense. Like a help text? Okay. Here I want to add a placeholder too. I forget how emoji name works actually. So if there's an emoji name, then it puts the emoji first before the title. It prefixes with the title. Okay, cool. And the rest of this we can just get rid of. So we don't need this, we don't need preview, we don't need a modal. We do need a submit area. Let's release the rest. And let's get oh, you know what I'm thinking? We want to actually provide ID as the event ID. Let's see, where is that? I think we're going to call this website event. Oh, okay, this note helps. Okay, yeah, this should be optional. Let's call it website event. So we're gonna change this everywhere. Default these to 0. Website event.id. Let's see, website event, then website event ID. Otherwise 0. What I'm thinking. Handle start date change. Like I said, this is going to be a simple text field for now. So, exact same as this, I think. Set start date. Oh, okay, so it's by default a string. So, let's see. Okay, I forget how you do this with the MUI text field, but I think it's gonna be you can set the type attribute to number. Caveats are it still allows characters like E. Okay. Yeah, I see. Okay, we could do this maybe. Replace a non. Okay, yeah, this works for me. event.target.value. Oh boy. Set start date. Oh, it's still a string. Okay. Same thing for end date. Except the state that you change is different. Relative URL. Okay, so let's do that next. It's gonna be very similar to title. So we're gonna set relative URL to this. Same for location. Same for emoji name. Okay, I think we can remove these comments now. Whoa. Okay, excuse me, handle recurring change. This is gonna be a different event. By the way, I don't love using the React prefix. I prefer to just use the import directly. Import from React. So this is gonna be a change event, but I think it's gonna be like HTML checkbox or something. Maybe it's still an input technically. Okay. No, I think it's still this. Okay, but then event.target.checked. Okay, hold on. So it's actually the same typing there, but then we're gonna set recurring to event.target.checked. Also, I'm just now realizing this is like really weird how we're just doing the same thing over and over again. And let's say disable, it's like enable submit or something. Although it's still like a line that we have to put here, so actually it doesn't really matter. Okay. And then we're gonna need one for handle recurs every change. Wait. Oh, okay, there we go. Set recurs every value. Okay, so what we've done is made sure that this form updates state when it changes. And I'm not getting any errors now, so that's good. We need to remove some imports that we're not using anymore. And for the rest, we're gonna figure out how to add them to this. So this stuff can go. Some of this stuff can go. And this one says it's not ever being used, so let's check on that. Yep, I'm setting the wrong thing. There we go. So, let's see. We've got styled form. Yeah, this has to be updated in a few places. So we've got the create event page, we've got the create news post page, and then we've got the update news post page. So the news post form, boy, sound submit form. And we need to call that now. Okay. Naming change is fixed. So it's got this like styled form thing. Let's go here. So this is currently a styled component that's associated with news post form. So it's not really specific to news post though, so I think these shared, these things that we need for both, I think need to be put into like a shared area. HTML output. So I'm wondering the best way to do that. I mean, technically all these CSS styles they're not specific to like news posts versus events, so. I think we're gonna just copy all these and put them into somewhere. Maybe add a new page under here. It's not really a page that we're styling, it's like a form, a reusable form. Let's try it though. Okay, here we go. Before. So now it's just gonna get all that stuff from style pages / form, and we need to do the same thing here. Nice, and now that just works. So this is an organism, but it's actually only using an atom component. So we're actually gonna move this into molecules, just so that the atomic structure is correct. looks fine. What's the error here? Unused import. TBD props. Okay, so this is where we need to. This would be the equivalent of news post submit props, which I think is just event submit props. There we go. So there is an ID that we're passing here. If we update it, oh man, okay. What's weird is that it's like looks like a triangle. You see that? It's telling me to eat pizza, I think. This is the fun stuff you do as a developer. There's a pepperoni right there. Okay. So this is working now. What's the problem? On submit form. Aha. Okay, so this is wrong. So we need to go here and change this from news post submit form. Oh wait, hold on. Wait. No, this is good. Oh, this is the wrong element. There we go. I didn't import it. User ID. User ID does not exist. Interesting. So we're passing user ID to news post form, but it's not even using it. So I think that's something that doesn't need to be passed now. So it's being passed user ID, and it's in its props, but it's not using it because we're not seeing it in the component. So yeah, that's something that we can get rid of. Especially since we can just get that from anywhere using auth helpers. So let's remove this. Okay. This is all good. So let's see what that page looks like now. Okay, so we've got a title, my test event, start date, we're just going to give it a random number, relative URL, news /post /100, location, Edgeville, Wilderness. Okay. Recurring. We shouldn't have a field for that except the checkbox. So that's wrong. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize this was here. And it's also got like bad data in it, so interesting. Let me double check all these event handlers match up with their values. Oh, also, we should set the value here. Recurring. So if we're updating this in the future, we can load that from the database, basically. Emoji name, relative URL, location. Okay, same thing with this. We're going to use the same input props. We don't need these comments here again because we can just read it up there. Don't repeat yourself. I even have a better idea, actually. We can go into constants. Let's see, I think we have a constants folder somewhere. Maybe not. Okay, yeah, we do. Export const. So we can put this here. And then we can reuse it in multiple places, therefore we won't need to have this twice. You can just say boom, import it from const, and then, oh, it does not like that, never mind. Huh. It's not assignable to type input base component props. Input mode is not compatible. Okay, so I think we need to type this now. So like input base component props. Oh, okay, let's import it. So let's see if we can just say like input base component props and say we're making it like this. And then, yeah, now it's fine. But basically this is going to prevent us from having to have comments in 2 different places, values in 2 different places, so I think this should help. And it should also mean that we can't enter, like, you know, random characters here, which I'm trying to enter symbols and letters and it's not working, which is good. Cool. And then news post /100. I'm gonna add a placeholder there that just says like that. There we go. So now when I remove this, it gives me some information. So I think this one doesn't exist yet, but it, like, the format works. We gotta, like, 24. There you go. Let's add a placeholder here too. Cool. More placeholders just helps me determine what I'm supposed to put there. And then we've got recurring, and then recurs every Saturday. And now we need to build the API and stuff like that. And here's where I'm gonna like stop for the day. We made some good progress on this feature. We got the event form working, and we just need to set up the API and backend to do this correctly, so that when we actually click submit here, it doesn't give us an error and actually uses an API to do all that. So, hope you guys enjoy the stream. I'll be streaming again next Saturday, same time, and I will see you then. Bye-bye.